If you don't wanna see me, did a full 180.
Oh shit. I forgot they're like all playing on.
Thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on. It's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to survive you, I'm better on the other side. I'm all good already, so moved on. It's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Don't start caring. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't show up, don't come out, don't come out, don't stop caring about me now, walk away, you know how, don't stop caring about me now.
Welcome to Worst of the Internet. This video is a comprehensive summary of Carly Link and the reaction channels that were covering her. This consists of many months of research that I did and the insane rabbit hole that I found at the bottom of this story. In order to explain this situation to you though, I first need to talk about Girl World. Girl World is best described as a galaxy consisting of multiple adjacent solar systems, with the biggest star involved being Amberlynn Reid. For those of you that don't know who Amberlynn is, she's a 500-pound woman who's been on a perpetual 11-year weight loss
The first thing
journey.
we're watching today is
And
Mr.
as
Wody,
Kiwi Farms
M60.
once
Go watch
put it,
him.
like any
He's pretty
giant
epic.
planet,
He
she
does
has a
awesome
lot of
streams,
orbiters.
but he
These
also does awesome
orbiters
content.
consist of
So
countless
you should
reaction
watch.
channels, mostly women, who watch every video that Amberlynn uploads. They nitpick every statement that she makes.
I have my rings on, which people have been asking about them.
No, they haven't. Not a single fucking person has asked you about your rings.
I got them from Amazon. This one in particular is about like self-love. So I was like,
Oh my god, you bought a ring that's a heart and it's about self-love. Aww. I hear one more person talk to me about self-love. Alright, tell me about the rest of your trash rings.
that's so sweet. And then I got this one, this one, this one, this one. They're like all just from a pack. Earrings are probably from Amazon. Necklace is from Tor.
And then they often get really angry over the most minute details.
Show you just because I feel like self-conscious to do so. But I
Cap. Someone who exploits the way they look as often as Amber exploits the way she looks does not feel self-conscious about showing us. She's just not doing it.
So I am willing, if my supporters want to see more of like the exercises I am doing. She said that she does want me to continue to exercise 2 times a week.
Intentional or not, these reaction channels often twist the drama into a much bigger situation than it ever was in the first place. As an example, let's talk about Cakegate. Now, I won't dive too much into this situation, but to make a long story short, in April of 2023, Amberlynn did a video showing things that she got from her P.O. box. And then this happened.
So all of these, and this is, you know, the pile that I go through slowly and I enjoy, and it's something that I really enjoy doing with you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys send me, the letters, etc. But I didn't want this to get like moldy right next to my office desk, so I had to open. And it's like, this is where it's like, there's funny trolling, like lighthearted trolling, and then there's just downright like abuse. Like, this is, it's like sending alcohol to an alcoholic, or sending heroin to a heroin addict. People say all the time, you're not bullied. Why can't you just take constructive criticism? Why can't you just deal with it? Take the heat or get out of the kitchen. Am I right? That is what I hear all the time. But there comes a time where it's like, you guys, I'm not the fucking problem. Some of you are. And yeah, I'm getting mad because I'm fucking, it's like I try to do something nice. And I know people can say, why are you showing this? It's to show you guys that this is the shit that I deal with outside of the fucking camera. You guys won't even believe the shit that I have to deal with. And it's just part of the problem. So,
You won't believe the shit I have to
you know, this is what happens when my YouTube channel 7-8 years ago ends up on a fat shaming website and all of you guys decide to come follow me. This is what happens. Fat shaming isn't real. What do you mean it's fat phobia? It's constructive criticism. What is that?
Just remember, it's your fault.
You're sending alcohol to an alcoholic. So, I hope you have fun sitting next to Trump in hell.
Girl World immediately descended on Amberlynn, and they asserted that the cake was sent to her in good faith. They called her ungrateful for rejecting it. However, to further complicate the situation, other people started implying that Amberlynn was attacking the company that made the cake. In my opinion, it was pretty obvious that she was attacking the person that sent it to her and not the company. Nevertheless, the reaction channels decided to look up the company that the cake was sent from, and the community at large apparently spammed the company with emails and reviews and tweets telling them that Amberlynn was trashing their company. Some channels even decided to order cake from the company just to milk more content out of the situation. Amberlynn ended up feeling bad, and she eventually reached out to the company, and she ended up ordering food from them and then donated it to a food bank.
So after I uploaded that clip and people were speaking about it, people were coming for me saying how horrible and rude I was. Like, how could I do that to a company? They were just trying to be nice to send me something. I was like, what is happening? So many people were thinking that I was dissing a company who was sending that to me just so I could show it in my video, when I was trying to explain that no, this was sent in malice. But then I started feeling, for the lack of a better term, gaslit into thinking, oh my God, like, are these people right? Like, was it the company who sent this to me? In my gut, I didn't think so. But like, I was afraid. I didn't want the company to have like this added stress around their company, obviously, around their business. Like, I felt horrible. So I ended up contacting them and I sent them this message. Where I could just get a final answer, because if it was them who sent it to me, I wanted to fix this. But they ended up replying saying that no, it was not them.
Damn.
Which I did not think it was. So I ended up responding as well, saying how I felt bad because people were like going to their pages and like leaving Google reviews about me, just like kind of crazy things. Like, this like got bigger than I thought it was gonna be. So I felt super bad for the company, while my video about the fat shaming wasn't about the company. It was about the person who sent me food. Now that this company was involved, like, I started feeling horrible. So when they told me, no, it wasn't us who sent that to you, I just felt horrible. So I told them that I'm going to order from them. And what I do end up ordering, I am going to donate to the homeless shelter. So moral of the story is no, it wasn't the company sending me food. Someone did it out of malice.
Now, this isn't to excuse Amberlynn's behavior here. She was being petty, but one of two things is true here. Either, number one, Amberlynn is fucking stupid, and she thought that this would be a good idea to keep this clip in the video and try to tell people not to do this to her. Now, Amberlynn has been doing this for 11 years. I think she's smart enough to know that if you tell trolls on the internet not to do something, then you're going to make it a lot worse. And I'm sure plenty of people have sent food to her P.O. box since then, which leads me to possibility number two. Amberlynn is trolling, which honestly would be fucking hilarious. Not only because every reaction channel fell for it, but the drama increased all the views on her channel, and they likely ensured that Amberlynn's receiving a constant stream of junk food straight to her mailbox. I mean, sounds to me like a total W for Amberlynn Reed here. But let's look at this from just one other angle. Let's say that 500-pound Amber graciously accepted the cake, showed it, thanked the sender, and ate it. I feel like the reaction channels wouldn't think that that was sent to her in good faith anymore. I think that they would think that Amber was horrible for eating the cake and that the sender did it as a troll. In fact, you know what I think they'd say?
You're sending alcohol to an alcoholic. So I hope you have fun sitting next to Trump in hell.
So yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. The other massive solar system in Girl World is Foodie Beauty, but the central theme is a fat woman, preferably on a failing weight loss journey, who says and does problematic things on a regular basis. I'll link a video in the description to a more in-depth video on Girl World by Cecil McFly, but all you need to know is that YouTube is littered with hundreds, if not thousands, of channels dedicated to this girl-on-girl drama. But from time to time, these two main girls get boring, and the community often looks for new solar systems to colonize. Enter Carly Link. So one day I was watching this girl who's unnecessarily angry with Amberlynn, and the gods of the YouTube algorithm recommended a new video to me. The voice of the reactor seemed really elderly and frail, but she also seemed really angry at the girl she was watching. She would regularly pause the video to say things like this.
It's none of your business what I do. Worry about yourself. If you don't want people talking about you, stop talking about me. You're telling everybody on your channel that you're done talking about me, but you still do. I'm not doing anything to anyone to hurt anybody.
Carly, you are just a monster. Period. You're a bully. You're disgusting. You have no concern for another human being whatsoever. You make me sick, Carly. You literally make me sick.
Fucked up.
So I decided to explore this old woman's channel, and when she wasn't throwing insults out at Carly, she was telling these really weird overshare stories about herself, somehow power leveling on her own disabilities being worse than Carly's and often working herself up to the point of tears.
I was diagnosed about a year ago. No, not a year ago. About 3 years ago that I have PSTD, or is it PTSD disorder. I have bad depression, bad anxiety, and bad panic attacks. I have bad asthma on top of it.
Again, maybe next time you listen to Samantha telling about her friend or sister or whatever it was, explaining her PTSD, maybe do a little bit more research before you start claiming you have it, because you can't even get it fucking right. It's PTSD, and it's not PTSD disorder. The D is disorder, Carly.
Why is she so
And
mean
this is
about
the
that,
first
though,
time
Carly?
you've ever talked about it. And depression, first time you've ever talked about it. So You are so sickening and such a liar. The asthma, yeah, you've told that in almost every video. But PTSD and depression, you make me sick. You really, really make me sick because you have no idea what it's like to have it. No fucking idea. Maybe instead of PTSD, Carly, you can steal mine. I have CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. I get angry. I have a hard time controlling my emotions. I'm not very trusting of a lot of people. Maybe you could start stealing that too.
Brother,
Or my major depression. Do you want that?
God.
You think like it's so cool to say you have these things because you hear someone else has it and you have no idea what it is. But now all of a sudden, you were diagnosed with it. You are so gross.
Become diagnosed with
You
PTSD
never started
at any
saying,
fucking given point of your
and
fucking
it's
life.
PTSD, Carly.
Like any
Post-traumatic
time of
stress
your life.
disorder. And I've never heard you ever. I've never heard you say that until Samantha started talking about it about a week ago, a few days ago, whatever it was. And for you to sit there and say, that you have that in depression, and it's like, it sucks, it's no big deal. You don't have it. You have no idea.
It kind of does just kind of suck.
What it's like.
You just have to deal with it.
When I found Carly's channel, her name was It's Pamela Daring, which was a misspelling of the word darling, and she couldn't change it for another 14 days. This was actually my favorite name just because I like the sound of the name Pamela Daring. But anyway, Carly has had quite a few usernames, as over the course of only a couple of years, she's gone by Callie Board, Alexis Board, Natalie Alexis, It's Pamela Daring, Pamela Ann, Pam Pam, Serenity Faith, Chelsea Rose, Cassie Boo, Cassandra Snark, Cassandra Sky, Once Upon a Fairy Tale, Life with Kaz, That Girl Haley Hart, Leah Gracie, Crazed Brie 84, Paisley Marie, Whitney Ann, Simply Whitney, Unique Morgan, CCB, Miss Clarissa, Annabella, and Brianna Ann, and probably a hell of a lot more that I'm missing here. For whatever reason, Carly decides to change her username to something completely different every 2 weeks. Carly is 39 years old and she lives with her fiance Freddie and her cat Paris. She also has a teenage daughter that lives with Carly's mother. Carly is mostly known for singing and dancing on her TikTok channel.
Ooh, ooh. I would hold you in my arms.
He's such a good singer. I love you, brother.
Thank you for
So
all
good.
you've done. Forgive me all your mistakes.
And her YouTube channel mostly focuses on just random women things. Shopping hauls, vlogs, cooking videos, unboxings, oh, and cat videos. Carly loves to post shorts of her cat Paris. However, the majority of her content usually ends up getting overshadowed by what she's probably best known for, which is this back and forth drama between Carly and her mini hater nation.
I'm tired of being called disgusting. I'm tired of being called all these names on YouTube. It's annoying and it's really hurtful. And I'm not going to say any names. I'm not a disgusting person. Okay? Keep making videos about me. I don't care anymore. Like, I really don't care. I'm going to move on with my life and do better. Go ahead and go live about me. Go make videos. Go do whatever you want. It's not going to stop me from doing what I love. And YouTube is not taking me down. So whoever you are saying that I'm a disgusting person, saying that I don't belong on YouTube, keep saying that. I am not going anywhere. And just for the FYI, YouTube told me they're not taking me down and I have no violations. I just talked to them. But if you want to keep calling me names, that's not very nice. It hurts people's feelings.
Carly has an intellectual disability. What this disability is, I don't know, and I'm not totally sure that she does either. This is an area of mass speculation, and most things that Carly says probably should be taken with a grain of salt. I don't think she's maliciously lying, but from what I've observed, I think she just often regurgitates things that she hears around her. Based on her own videos, it seems like she's trying to WebMD a personal diagnosis.
And I have PSTD. I have brain damage. I have memory loss. I have a diagnosis called Fragile X.
To further complicate things, the community would widely speculate about her diagnosis, and then that would result in people talking about how they think she had something called Fragile X. So Carly starts saying that she has that. Once she starts saying this, now the reaction channels call her a liar and then speculate that she has fetal alcohol syndrome.
Well, let me ask you this, Miss Carly, even though I have already said it in this video earlier. Now that you're coming up with this Fragile X bullshit, where's your proof? There is only one blood test right now that can tell whether a person has Fragile X. So when were you given that blood test? I'd love to know, and I want to see proof. Because somebody mentioned this to you, and then you looked it up. But you don't have any of the features. Flat feet, okay. There's a lot of people in the world that have flat feet, Carly. There's a lot more to it than just your appearance. If you want my honest opinion, and I'm not a doctor, I believe you have fetal alcohol syndrome. The way your facial features are, and the intellectual disability.
That's right, she's not a doctor.
I believe you have fetal alcohol syndrome. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. But you want to sit and claim this Fragile X. Show me where you had the blood test done. That's all I want to see. And I can tell you 1,000% if it's not doctored and if that's a real blood test.
I don't want you to
Please show me the proof. You know why you won't ever be able to? Because you're a fucking liar. You have and probably always will be a pathological liar.
She also usually tells a story about having a severe fever at a young age, which triggered a seizure and left her with brain damage.
When I was a baby, I was born normally. And when I was about 2 to 3.5 years old, I had a seizure. And my fever went up to like 104, 105. And I got put in the hospital and almost died. And they told me I would have brain damage, I would have an intellectual disability, and I had to learn to walk, talk, and eat again on my own.
Now, I'm not a doctor, but it's pretty obvious that Carly has something, and a specific diagnosis isn't really that important here. It's just worth understanding that we're talking about a woman who very clearly has a stunted mental development. So let's introduce Carly's haters. This video is going to primarily focus on 3 of these channels: Pretty Little Lies, Malice Black, and Queen of Karma. However, let's discuss these other 3 first because they will become relevant in later discussions. First, Emma666. At this time, Emma would regularly screen record every single video that Carly would upload and then re-upload it to an archive channel. For some reason, this community seems to think that archiving is a fair use excuse to violate other people's copyrights. I'm not going to get into that debate, but just trust me, it's not fair use at all. Anyway, Emma would record every single video that Carly made and then disseminate the videos to other reaction channels, and then go to everybody's live streams to post their donation links and promote their channels, so that Carly would continue to get more videos made on her. Hatman is Emma's boyfriend. He's incredibly uninteresting and he looks like he might be dying of something, but the main thing to know is that he goes live, says a bunch of slurs, and calls Carly the R word. Similarly, Chad, and I'm not reading the rest of that, it's too many syllables, also regularly just goes live to call Carly the R word. Although he looks more like Peter Dinklage had sex with a hammerhead shark.
Bruh.
No, but what she just said, she was like, She goes, I'll do a show if you guys donate. And what I was going to say is, like, even if I wasn't getting donations off of shows, it's still so much fun to have you guys come out here to support me and watch me make fun of this retard.
Moving on to the main reactors in this story, first off is Malice Black. Now, as you'll see, Malice gets way too involved in Carly's life, but a brief backstory. Malice was originally doing reactions to Foodie Beauty. For whatever reason, she decided to go on Kiwi Farms and ask them if they could give her information on somebody that was related to Foodie Beauty, and they told her to fuck off and posted links to all of her social media, which included some salacious Tumblr posts about being in a DDLG relationship and posts where she discussed needing to create a spell book in order to claim religious asylum so that she could immigrate from South Africa to New Zealand. Now, I'm no immigration attorney and neither is Kiwi Farms, but that kind of sounds like immigration fraud. Next up is Queen of Karma. Now, Queen of Karma is actually more of a footnote in this story, but everything she did seemed to act as a catalyst for how the other reactors acted. Queen of Karma, or Beth, also used to go by the name Queen of Spade until she found out what that meant. She's notorious for going from one community to the next, stirring up drama from nothing, and then adding them to her list of people that she hates. This is a chart that one of her haters made, demonstrating how infamous she is across YouTube. I'm gonna link the 3.5-hour backstory from I'm Sorta Kinda Bored called Queen of Spade, the Infinite Victim. It's a really well produced video, and it talks about Beth's pattern of behavior. However, I can only speak to what I saw, and that was her actions with Carly. Initially, Queen of Karma released a video called Carly vs. Sam, Are They Lolcows? Which, in my opinion, was a pretty good assessment of what was going on in this community. The thing is, when Carly sees someone being supportive of her, she usually ends up asking them to make a video about the other reaction channels, and she did this to Beth apparently enough times that it sent Beth into a tailspin, and she spent the next 2 months dedicating her channel to joining the hate train and trashing Carly.
When I first came across Carly, she came into my chat. I had friends of mine reach out to her and we told her we would support her, we would help her. And then she came into my chat. She wanted me to mod her. We all know I don't just go around modding people. And then under all of my videos, she was leaving me comments saying, can you please go and do a video about Malice and do a video about Green Fairy and do a video about this person. And that is the only contact I have ever had with Carly.
Seriously, I don't understand why she couldn't just block her and move on, but whatever. And finally, we have Pretty Little Lies. Pretty Little Lies is the old woman that I've already shown to you. Pretty Little Lies does not have much of a backstory on YouTube because it appears that the only reason that she even started a YouTube channel in the first place was to harass Carly. But let me just leave this clip right here.
If you truly are a good person, you need to stop covering me.
Let me just say this. Fuck you. I will not stop covering you. And after doing this video with your little quote-unquote threats, bitch, I'm going to go in even harder on you. I will cover every fucking thing you do. And as far as not knowing who I am, duh. You will never know who you wouldn't even be able to pronounce my first or last name anyway. But you will never know who I am. You will never know the city or state I live in. Not a damn thing.
That's funny.
It's the internet. There's a lot of fucking weird, creepy ass people out there, and
including you.
I'm not stupid. I don't put out my information, and besides, I've never, not once in my entire life, been in trouble with the law. There's nothing on me, so I'm not dumb.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to age well. To run down this drama, I'm going to go over a series of accusations that usually get said about Carly and address them one at a time. The crux of this drama all seems to center around one main accusation.
And that is where the problem lies, Carly. If you're happy being mean to people, bullying people, making others cry, saying nasty things to people, including being nasty to your mods, your own subscribers, If you're happy with that, that's a problem. Carly, don't make me post the mountains of receipts that are out there. You going after a mom with a disabled child, attacking her. You going after a woman that's disabled, going after women who can't have children, laughing and mocking them, going after your mods. Don't make me post them, all the receipts that are out there. You're disgusting.
So this consists of multiple sub-accusations that will make up the bulk of this video, but I'll try to give a brief summary of how this all came to be, because there's not a ton of information surrounding the initial event. But back in mid-2022, Carly attacked a mother who has a nonverbal, autistic, and Down syndrome child. This was the main thing that was always brought up about her, but in an almost robotic way. For example, here's Malice Black talking about it.
What did happen was that you went after a mute, right, nonverbal, autistic child with Down syndrome, said that your disabilities were worse than hers, and attacked her mother. And people started calling you out for it. That's how this started.
And here's Pretty Little Lies talking about it again.
You've attacked a lot of different disabilities, even a child or a minor who had Down syndrome, autism, and nonverbal. Remember that, Carly? Comparing her disability with yours, saying what you have, which is just an intellectual disability, was way worse than hers.
Now, for full disclosure, here's the evidence that they want you to see about this.
I have a non-intellectual disability myself. I have ADHD, ADD, OCD. I have a worse disability than Autumn, honestly. Her mom got really aggressive and said, "How do you know that you're worse than Autumn?" But I have a lot more disabilities than Autumn. All she has is Down syndrome, nonverbal, and autism. That's it. I have a lot more disability than she does. I wasn't being rude. I was just explaining my disabilities. So if you guys don't like me, you can leave. Goodbye. Bye. I have a learning disability too, and I'm special needs also. So what if I compare my disability? Get out. I'm not even doing anything wrong. It's freedom of speech. You can say what you want to anyone's comment, like you guys are doing right now. It's not like I'm doing anything wrong. I didn't attack Autumn's mom. It's freedom of speech, like you guys are doing right now. I'm allowed to say what I want on anyone's live or anyone's comment.
Now, we'll come back to this claim a little bit later, but this caused another YouTuber, Grizz Green Girl, also known as Samantha, to call out Carly. Samantha also has her own disabilities, and she often gets really emotional at small amounts of criticism.
I won't, show myself if I'm, if you don't like me dipping at all. Plain and simple. But like I said, you don't need to address what I do on Reddit. You're the only one. You and Carly both are the only two who have a problem with it. I'm gonna shut up because my thoughts. Whatever. You sit there and say, "Oh, Sam, your hair looks horrible." Blah blah blah. At least my hair doesn't look like shit like yours. At least my hair looks good. You don't know how to dye your hair at all. The back of your head looks like shit. Just saying.
Because of this, the back and forth that took place was like a war zone. From this point on, Carly and Samantha were mutual arch enemies. Carly would make a video or go live responding to Samantha, then Samantha would respond back.
And I hope they stalk you. And I hope that they cover you for what you did. Because that was the lowest of the low. How dare you talk to me like that? You said my niece's name in your live. You talked about my family. You talked about my daughter. So I have every right. You brought up my fiance, my daughter, my niece and nephews. So don't talk about mine if you want me talking about yours.
You think for 1 second that just because I deleted my channel, I still don't watch Malice, Hatman, Chad, or Emma. I do. I keep track. You bought more subs. And no, I didn't fucking buy subs. Nobody said it was you who, ran me off of fucking YouTube. Nobody said that at all. I got off YouTube because I was under a lot of pressure with shit in real life. It had nothing to do with you. Get over yourself.
At some point, the reaction channels started to join in, and they did so almost exclusively to defend Samantha, despite the fact that neither one of them would let this go. Once there was about 5 or so channels making regular videos about Carly, this drama turned into a daily soap opera. Additionally, like Samantha, Carly doesn't take criticism well, if you can't tell, and she has a bad habit of looking herself up to see if anybody's talking about her on YouTube or Reddit. So when the reaction channels started covering every time that Carly would address the drama, Carly would then make a point of making another video attacking the reaction channels. The reactors would then use that to validate that argument that she's a bully. And then Carly would then make a video to explain herself and tell them to stop talking about her, and the cycle would continue.
Your posting videos about me has nothing to do with you. Your name's not in it. I'm not talking about you. So please leave me alone. I want to vent out and talk because I'm getting really tired of the hate going on. I'm getting really tired of it, Why do you want to be a bully like every other bully? You could move on and just do videos about you. Stop impersonating me.
Now, if I just leave it at this and I say that this is all just about Carly being a bully, then I'd be doing a disservice to the huge list of reasons that everybody has come up with for this narrative. So let's talk about all of these accusations in a little bit more detail. I'm going to try to cover these as quickly as possible, but there's a lot going on here, so I would go get a drink now.
I uploaded this as a short. Hey, Carly, doing blackface is another reason why you don't understand how social media works. This is not good to post.
That is Emma describing the clip that you're about to watch. Now, just a trigger warning, this may be the most offensive thing that you've seen since The Little Mermaid.
Stop playing with him, Riot.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a can. Like Jazzy, Stacy, Nikki. All of the Barbies is pretty. Damn. All of the
Now, if you give me about 30 seconds, I'm sure I could find somebody on Reddit who agrees that this is blackface. The problem is that when you tell somebody Carly did blackface without any other real context, this is not the picture that they paint in their head. They would assume that she was actually doing, blackface. I'm not even sure if Carly knows what blackface is, but at the end of the day, this is just a TikTok filter with bad lighting. So after many of the reaction channels and the viewers dug through her and her family's Facebook pages, they finally found a screenshot of Carly using the N-word in 2014. After this leak, the reaction channels jumped onto this as evidence of her racism, and after harassing Carly with this information, she initially denied it until somebody explained who it was to. After that, her explanation was it was 9 years ago.
I never said the N-word on my Facebook ever in my life. Why I would never say the N-word. I don't even talk the N-word slurs. So why are you coming in here? They're telling me that I said the N-word. That was a long time ago. Get over it. God damn. That was from an old friend of mine. We were just talking. It's none of your fucking business.
Now, I don't personally think this is a good excuse, and neither does Queen of Karma. What's ironic is that Carly said this 9 years ago. Queen of Karma said this 1 year ago. Regardless, my question is this: why are people digging into her friends and family's Facebook accounts? These people that she's friends with have nothing to do with anything that she's posting online.
I have never, and I can't think of another reaction channel that has come after anybody for race, creed, color, sexual orientation, but you have. On your live stream, someone made a comment about him being bisexual. And what did you say? Ew, gross. So shut the hell up, Carly. That is you.
Now, you might agree with me that Carly's friends and family should be off limits, but there's an argument that can be made here for her fiance, Freddie. He does occasionally come on her videos, sometimes to defend her.
It may seem like she's mean online because you guys are bullying her, but you know what? She has every right to stick up for herself.
It's called free use, like you guys say.
No, it's called freedom of speech. If they can do it to you, you can do it to them. It may not seem fair, it may not seem right, but it works both ways. If you're rude to her and bring stuff up about her that has nothing to do with anything, then you know what? She can do the same exact thing. 100% back to you. If you don't like it, then move on.
But, justified or not, people dug into Freddie's Facebook and they were able to uncover a photo from his Facebook that included a picture of Freddie kissing another man. Apparently, Freddie is openly bisexual and he had a relationship with a man before he met Carly. I debated heavily on whether I was going to include this photo in the video, but Emma ended up deleting it off of her community tab, and honestly, I think it's disrespectful to everyone involved anyway, especially his ex who had nothing to do with any of this. So, someone came into her chat to tell her Freddie's bisexual, and this is how she responded.
Oh my gosh. Look what they did.
God
To my
forbid a
fiance,
man
they
get jiggy.
said Freddie is bisexual. Oh my god, ew. I reported, that's disgusting.
Which is the exact same reaction that I have to heterosexuals, so maybe that's just not what she's into. But even if you're unironically offended by this, why is she the bigot and not the one who's using this information to dunk on her?
And Freddie, if you're listening, this is for you. If you want my opinion coming from someone who's much older, has much more experience, the relationship that you have with Carly, that is not love. She's a selfish, inconsiderate, vile, disgusting, vain bully. Not to mention, Freddie, somebody that claims to love you mocked your sexuality. Is that really someone you want to be your partner? You're bisexual, and she made a comment in one of her live streams when someone said that same thing about being bisexual. And what did she say? Ew, gross. And then made that nasty face. Does that make you feel good, Freddie, knowing she mocks and finds bisexuality disgusting? If so, you're with the right person. Now, if that's something you want and you like, then by all means, stay. But in my opinion, I think you're only there for the free ride. You probably had real love with Kevin, and that's probably who you should be with and probably who you're meant to be with. I don't know what the attraction was to Carly, but from what I see, from someone on the outside looking in, there's no love between you two at all.
Additionally, trying to prescribe Freddie's sexuality is wildly inappropriate, but further insisting that he'd somehow be happier in his previous relationship is completely disrespectful and devoid of any context around the relationship itself. For anybody who already knows about these channels, imagine saying something like you'd be happier with your ex-husband to Pretty Little Lies or to Malice Black. In a much more recent live stream, Carly did scream a slur at somebody in the chat.
Yeah, I hope they get their fucking karma. Fucking losers. Fucking cowards. Fucking queers.
Fucking queers.
When you have
Damn.
this video without any other context, this is a big yikes, and I'm not going to condone this. But I was watching that stream, and she was actually talking about somebody who was posting her address on their community tab and threatening her.
Somebody said, I hope you enjoy your Christmas walk. Seems like a nice place over there at my place. So my address is on here.
So yeah, as a gay man, I'll give her the pass on this one. I've said a lot worse things about people who've doxed me before too. You'll also find out in a future video that this guy probably deserves a hell of a lot more than just being called a slur.
You bought the subs, and I believe you bought them again, because as fast as both your channels are growing,
Do people
there's
really
no
buy that many
fucking
subs
way
all the time?
from your non-tent that you're growing that fast. And you can say it's cat videos. Where are all the cat videos, Carly? There's hardly any on either of your channels recently, so it's certainly not from that. And this bullshit of that I'm showing in these 3 videos here, that's boring as hell. Nobody's going to sub to watch this. The only reason you have the subs you have, you bought them, and the rest are hate watchers. Oh, and the handful, literally one hand of true subscribers. Community tab, worst of the internet, which I'm still wondering about worst of the internet, but yeah, they're bought subs, you liar.
Huh, okay. Thanks for the shout out. If you're at all familiar with watching these types of channels, they all get accused of buying subs at some point. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one, mostly because the runtime on this video is getting a little out of hand, but also because this one's mostly true.
It's $3.99 right now. It's on YouTubeMarket.net.
The what?
And let me go get my credit card. Hold on. $3.99. I got the same 100, but it was $3.99. It was $5, but it went down in price. Be right back, y'all.
And after the reaction channel started criticizing her for it, here's her response.
And I bought subs, yes, in the beginning, when I first started YouTube. But I didn't buy the second subs. I earned them by cat videos. What you guys don't understand, open your ears. I don't need to buy subs the second time. I don't have that kind of money. And I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. So if you guys think, oh, she bought subs, why would I have to buy subs? I'm an entertainer.
Now, I could pontificate about how there's no evidence of the transaction going through, or how it's impossible to know who is or isn't buying subscribers on the platform, or why would she lie and then self-report in the same sentence. But the reality is that when you're dumb enough to pull this stunt on a live stream like Carly did, they're now going to point to this video every time her sub count goes up. And of course they did. The funny part to me was the fact that it never really occurred to them that maybe she was getting new subscribers as a result of their coverage. I mean, that's how I found her.
You should not be around children at all. I'm sorry, no. Fucking come for me in the comments. I don't care. This woman should not be around children, because if she so readily exposes everybody's kids, it doesn't even matter that it's on the fucking internet. I don't care. You expose people's children to a predator.
Now, you might be wondering at this point if Carly has had anyone on her side. Well, at this time, a couple of people had peeked at Carly, but they couldn't really tell what was going on. I had been watching this daily at this point, and they weren't Carly maxing the way that I was. But seemingly out of nowhere, a random YouTube channel popped up called Cyrus Talk Show.
She has been the target of harassment by different YouTubers. She's just trying to make YouTube videos. She's trying to be herself. She's trying to make her YouTube career work. And in my opinion, from what I've seen, is it seems like that a lot of people are going out of their way to make her look like a bad person when she's not. It doesn't really seem like that she's doing anything wrong. And I know people are going to say, well, Cyrus, there's evidence, there's evidence, there's evidence. Listen, okay, you need to understand that what you're doing is wrong. Okay, because there are some YouTubers out there that are going out of their way. For example, Pretty Little Lies is a YouTuber that's all her entire content. Pretty Little Lies, and I'm assuming it's a girl. I could be wrong. That could be a boy. Pretty Little Lies could be a boy, but I'm not sure. Pretty Little Lies goes out of the way, and their entire channel is literally just talking about Alexis here.
And remember how I said that Carly would immediately try to befriend any person that was talking positively about her?
And for you to go on there and sit there and comment on his stuff and make it more worse, come on now. Don't you guys have anything better to do than hurt other people? I apologize. I am probably breaking out from whatever I ate, but yeah. You know, I'm gonna, like I said, Cyrus, thank you so much for being there for me. These people have no lives. I don't even know why they comment on videos.
Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this in two different ways so that I think everybody can understand it. So the first way is this. The next video that Cyrus made after making a video defending Carly was a video defending Cyrax.
So in my opinion, I feel like that Cyrax has done nothing wrong. It's Music Biz Marty is the person that has done it wrong.
So if you don't know who Cyrax is, then hopefully this second explanation will clear it up for everybody else. So do you remember the Jesus chat line back in 2012? It was two guys pretending to run a Christian hotline, then they post the live streams on 4chan, and then a bunch of trolls call in.
What can we help you with?
I have a question for Rick.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. That's why we're here.
Why are you so fucking gay?
Well, you know how there's a bunch of random kids now who magically come up with this idea themselves? They just copy it, and then they don't moderate the show, and then it turns into a bunch of children just screaming the N-word over the phone. Basically, he was doing one of these types of shows, and he was having kids join the Discord to call in, and then he was sending inappropriate messages to them. Something to do with a spanking fetish, I don't really know. Either way, we get it, right? Bad guy. So somebody who was completely unrelated to Carly or any of the reaction channels had made a video about him, and the reaction channels shared it amongst themselves.
Even at my worst moments and at your worst moments, Carly, I thought that there might be something redeemable about you. Like just anything. I have been searching for it for so long, right? That there's just a glimmer of something that is redeemable, just a little bit of good in you anywhere, and you completely erase that from my mind by siding with a freaking predator on the internet. When I warned you about it, I gave you the evidence. What the hell? What the hell? I don't understand. Like, I'm flabbergasted. Carly, I'm going to ask you, when I sent you this information, why the fuck didn't you cut ties? Why didn't you protect? Why is it up to me to protect your child?
Now, Malice, I don't believe that you shared this with Carly, because all of this happened within about 24 hours, but let's say that I do believe you. Why on earth should Carly believe anything out of your mouth? You've spent almost the entirety of 2023 harassing Carly, stalking her, reacting to every video she makes, calling her names, and you were deliberately putting mods in her chat so that you could get more dirt to make fun of her. I have that receipt too, by the way.
I've never fucking brought you up. The only time I brought you up is when I messaged you in the past, and you encouraged me to become good with Carly and become one of her mods, which I did, just so therefore you can get the insight and make fun of Carly even more for her mental state and her disabilities. So fuck you for that.
So a couple of days later, someone that Carly could actually trust explained the situation to her with Cyrus, and Carly immediately disavowed him. Do you think it ended there?
She's too obsessed with her sub count and her view count and monetization and all this other fucking shit that she doesn't give a rat's ass about her own kid. And then you said my name to a pedo. I have a 13-year-old daughter. What the fuck is the matter with you?
So now let's take a look at the evidence for this claim.
All right. Okay, we got 50 minutes into that. We should give that a break. And it's all of
What's
our
poppin'?
tree becomes
What's
a
been the
gecko.
most persistent thought on your mind lately?
I don't know. I just moved to Mexico, so I've just been thinking about Mexico pretty much nonstop.
How is Mexico?
Mexico is the greatest country in the world. It's much more epic living there than it is here in the United States, not America, because America is Central America, South America, and we say, oh, America. But technically speaking, we're not the real America.
What do you think they're doing better down there than we're doing here?
I think the quality of life is much higher. People are very passionate. People are a lot more expressive. I think that the vibes for me are immaculate. I think a lot of people here are caught in the inner trappings of chasing material wealth. Obviously, this happens everywhere, but it's specifically bad in the Western side of things, especially here in America, where it's a lot of selling sex and trying to make as much money as you can and neglecting the family unit. And I don't know, I personally feel maybe we lost the plot a little bit here.
In your own life, do you identify more with always wanting more, or are you like, I'm trying to find a nice baseline of enoughness to just land on?
It's interesting because I'm a more is more type of guy. More is always more. Yeah, I'm a maximalist. So like when we're talking about making art,
what does that mean? You're a maximalist.
I like, for example, on my album.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to plug the album, but just so you can give an example, I have a song that had 1,125 tracks on it. So that's maximalism. But basically the idea is, how do you make those 1,000 layers sound like 5, you know? But more is more. It's just like, I just love to add more and more and keep working on it to the point where maybe it ruins it. I don't really know. I'm still figuring out balance, but I have no sense of balance. I'm a hedonist, so I'm an addict. So I'm constantly, I want more, but I'm either all or nothing. So like I can be sober and then I can be like, you know, indulging.
Do you have any vices? What would your
Lots.
What are your vices?
I mean, right now, smoking nicotine, I've been struggling with that. I'm giving myself some grace because I'm doing like a billion things at once. And I'm like, take a second to be able to breathe and enjoy that. I have tour coming up, so I'm not going to be smoking then because I have to be very careful with that.
Can I ask you something? How old are you?
I'm about to be 40 in September.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to love the 30s, man. That's when life gets good.
Really? Because here's my thing. I'm like, after a while, do you ever feel, I'm trying to get over this thing. I have this existential thing where like, obviously I know that this is ignorant, but there's a little part of me that's like, with life, I'm like, okay.
Are you done? Are you tapping out?
No, like just in the sense of like, okay, like as like I also have an addictive personality, and it's like the addict craves novelty, and after a certain point, especially like, you know, traveling a lot, right? It's like, at what point does the novelty do you still like, after everything you've done, everything you've seen, all the like, do you still find novel experiences
every
in life?
goddamn day?
How do you do that? How do you keep finding novelty?
You got a side quest. I hate to say this, not to sound like a 10-year-old boy, but I'm side quest maxing. So like one day, for example, I will be in Latvia making rug designs for 20 hours, and I'm a Latvian rug maker that day, and I'm designing outfits and wardrobe, and I just switch it up so much. Like, so another day, maybe, like for example, last week I played this I did a walkout song for a fight in Mexico. One of my best friends, Aaron Mercury, sweetest soul ever, and he won the fight. But I was doing a Netflix televised event. It was actually the highest viewed Netflix fighting event ever in history. And so I did this event, and I'm there, and I'm filming. I turned into a Mexican TikToker. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. Grandma was filming TikToks in his house with his mom in them, and it was like, just, you know. And then the next day, I'm doing a fashion, like a magazine cover shoot, and I'm like, you know, doing something different every day. So it never gets old. It never gets boring. I'm constantly switching countries, switching vibes. I basically go super hardcore on stuff, and then I burn out, and then I switch to the next thing, and I actually never run out of creativity.
Do you get stressed doing all those things?
No, I think if anything, it just gives me more energy. It's a lot of energy rituals. I'm giving a lot of energy, and I'm getting a lot back. So constant change of pace, constant change of what I do for work, constant change of environment, new foods, new people, new flavors. It just gives me so much energy.
You seem, okay, tell me if this is true. You seem like you have no anxiety.
I don't know. I think the part of my brain that gets embarrassed or deals with anxiety, I think it's missing. I think that I did enough damage in my frontal lobe, my cortex, when during developmental years.
Okay.
So I don't think I have it.
So okay, so it's follow up. Has it always been missing? Like,
think all the
growing
drugs I
up, were
did,
you a
yeah.
kid? Like, were you like you didn't give a fuck about like?
No, I think, like, for example, the thing that comes to mind the most is like getting nervous before a show. But then at a certain point, like, it becomes your office. So when you go
Of course, yes, of course.
perform at
Yeah.
Coachella, you're just going to the office, and it's not read the same in your mind as like, this is gonna be crazy as I feel. It's like, okay, we get the job, and then we got to do the interview, and then we got to go to the next thing, and we fly to the next place. So you don't really like. Your brain. I still love when I feel any nerves like 1 second before you go on, because that means you still love it. You
It means you still
care.
care. Yes, it means you still care.
And
It's a
that
good
is
thing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm not like, oh my God. Oh, it's just, it is what it is. You go in, you go out, you try your best, you give it your all. It's never going to be perfect. I'm always beating myself up. But then when I look back at the footage, I'm like, that was pretty dope. I can't believe I was so hard on myself. Like, this was a disaster, So I try to talk myself out of being too hard on myself.
So all these things that you're doing, are you in the moment of all of these things, or are you like thinking about the next thing?
I try to
that you
be
have?
as present as humanly possible. I stayed off the internet for the entirety of the last 2 years. There was like a little post here or there, but I just was as present. I didn't really document.
But how do you
most of
do? How
it.
do you be? Well, actually, okay, I know that. Like when you, okay, so you were just in Afghanistan, right? How long ago were you in Afghanistan?
That was in the summer.
What were you making there? What were you doing?
I shot my album cover there in a place where music is banned. It's technically illegal.
Is it really?
They burned all the instruments when the Taliban took over, and there's still a version of singing that's allowed. It's not called music in the same way. I don't know exactly. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not informed enough to give any kind of guided advice, so take it with a grain of salt. But from what I understand, you can still sing for these things called naheeds, which is like, you're allowed to have no instruments, but you can sing. And actually, there's versions of it that have explosions and gun sounds that they used to work out to. I mean, not everyone, but I heard some of these and they're bangers. But I interviewed a singer who actually sings that style, and yeah, I mean, it's a very different thing. It's different to go out there. I wanted to make the album there, so I was like, okay, I want to be respectful of the rules. I'm not here to like go in there and be like, I made music, where music's illegal. But I've kind of found a way to still work on the album and shoot the album cover there.
What made you want to pick Afghanistan?
I've always wanted to go. I mean,
Yeah.
growing up in the West, we have heard just like, it's always like this terror ideas of like, oh, it's so dangerous, this or that. And then really, I'm really interested in about humans and how to connect with them, all walks of life. And sometimes we're pitted against each other. And in the context of going to Afghanistan, it was the most love and beautiful interactions I could have experienced based on what they're told, what they feed you in the news. Obviously, due to my experiences of just things you hear, friends of friends, whatever, I was nervous. And that was a good example where I did feel some form of anxiety or stress because you're like getting a camera equipment in and out, not having the proper journalist license, getting the hard drives out of there. That's very stressful.
Yeah.
Because not that it was anything bad, but like if someone looked at the footage and took something out of context, they might be like, well, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And you're not able to be protected in a situation like that.
I went to Iraq, and people asked me like if I felt unsafe at any time, and I don't know if you experienced this, but it was like the only time I felt unsafe was when I was in any kind of vehicle. Like I was never afraid of any person, but the way that like traffic works there is like kind of a free for all. Did you experience that in Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, there's traffic jams and stuff, and the way that people drive is wild in the sense of not how they're driving, but because there's kids sitting on top of the cars. There'll be like 8 people sitting on top of a semi-truck driving in these like roads that are the most windy roads ever. But I never felt unsafe. You're riding through certain parts. Like I went from Jalalabad. I obviously was in Kabul, which is the main capital, and I'm butchering all the way to say it all, but basically we went over to the western side, I believe, and we went to the big lakes and the most beautiful nature, and there's pretty much the roads there then for about an hour of the drive is just destroyed and demolished by landmines, so you're just shaking, but I don't know, I didn't really feel unsafe. The most unsafe I probably felt was when I was sitting on this heart-shaped thing I built there. It was a 3 or 4 ton shaped object. I built this statue, and it was a big heart made out of trash, and I shot it in a junkyard, but the machine that was holding it up, which was like a crane from the 60s, it started kind of giving out, and at the end they're like, you need to get off this thing, and I thought they were joking around because I was filming, and they're like, no, seriously, you need to get off this thing, it's about to collapse, it's overheating. Instances like that. There was another instance where I was on this amusement park ride, and it was there was just a tire on the ground, and then the guys helped push it, and it's like a full-fledged amusement park ride, but it's done kind of in a traditional, you know, maybe something that would be from 50 years ago or something like that at a carnival or something. But we're riding on this ship, and it goes actually inverted, and there's no seatbelts or anything, and I'm sitting on, then there's a guy with a loaded AK-47 on there, and you're like, all right, this is different. But it was definitely like, hopefully it's all good. But I put my trust into the world, and I like to think that the world is looking over us, but I'm very naive, very ignorant, and I think that's bliss sometimes.
I have that same thing. I do wonder if it's survivorship bias, where I do believe that thing of like, if you kind of put your faith into the world, it will reward you in some way. I guess until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. It's a super survivorship bias thing. I mean, I mean, the motherfucker who went to like, what is it, Centennial Island, probably thought the same thing.
Is that the guy who went to the unconnected tribe? Or something?
Yeah. I'm sure many people met their. But would you like? But I don't know. I kind of am like. I'm okay in all areas of my life. I'm like, I want to. I'll put my trust and faith in like a person or the universe or whatever. And if my faith or my trust is betrayed, and like I die or whatever, it's like, well, I guess at least I lived wholeheartedly, putting the trust out there. But I don't want to die though. That would be bad.
But I lived such a beautiful life that no matter what happens, and I'm only 40 years old.
Yeah.
Technically 39. 40 comes September. Also, by the way, I'm not 40 years old. I'm 32. But what I will say is,
I feel like if you're gonna lie about your age, when you pick a,
I think it's cooler
40
if I'm
was
older, because then they're like, he's so mature for his age.
Are you offended that I believed you?
No, I say it all the time. I just think it's funny.
40.
Yeah.
Are you
40's the new 30? 30's the new 20.
Are you afraid of getting older at all?
No, dude, I'm loving it. I'm aging gracefully.
Yeah, you are.
I don't have any good, skincare regimen, this or that. But what I do have is growing into myself, feeling like I'm coming into myself. It's such a beautiful thing to finally feel like you feel like you fit finally. And I'm kind of learning how I kind of fit into the world, not just into my own skin. But it's like kind of.
In what way do you mean you're learning how you fit?
I don't know. I just feel like I know what I want and what I'm after, and I'm still experimenting, but I'm saying whatever it is, every aspect of my life is not one thing. I'm saying
so you've gotten more decisive.
But also
what have you decided on?
I've decided on living.
Was it up in the air before?
No, I wasn't sure what the question was. Sorry, what is the question?
You said you basically like, I've gotten more. You're like, I understand my place in the world.
Yeah, I understand my taste, my palate. I like what I like. What charges me, what gets me excited, how I can maximize on my time on this planet. So my main point of this all was that basically, if I died tomorrow, I would be like, that was a good fucking run.
Totally, yeah.
It was epic. I don't regret anything. I did it as best as I could. I made tons of mistakes. I'm only human. I'm not perfect. But I did everything I could have tried to do. I don't feel like I was intentionally being negative to anyone. I didn't ever try to go hurt someone in a way. I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in violence. But beyond that, I've just put out as much positive energy as I can. Obviously, through trolling and different things like that, there's sometimes negative energy vortexes and sometimes people want that, so they bring it out of you.
What kind of negative energy vortexes?
Just people, it's just like trolls. And when you're around other trolls and their whole thing is to be a troll, then they expect you as a troll to troll with them. But I'm kind of at this point in my life where I'm kind of over it. I'm like, that was fun. And I still like to dance around in the line of where is like fantasy, fact, and fiction as a performance artist. That's the most interesting place to
There's
play.
a lot of I saw like Tim Heidecker has kind of gone on that arc where like for a while it was like every interview he did was like a joke, and now he's somehow like kind of merged like sincerity and jokiness and stuff without like giving up what made him jokey.
Yeah, I always felt like as an artist, and I'm sure most people can relate with this, but you don't feel like you're enough. And when we're rolling with the camera, I'm like, it's not enough. If you want to see a normal guy, you could just go hang out with your friends and watch them and talk to them. So I think, and I'm friends with other artists, like some really amazing artists, and some of them are like one guy specifically who's an incredible painter, who I'm a big fan of, and I've been a fan of for a long time. And he just says, Oliver, you're enough. And you know, of course, someone could tell you that, and that doesn't mean it registers to you. But for once in my life, I felt like that the real guy was actually more interesting than any character I could come up with. And I'm like,
Sure.
I'm just so sick of like the shtick and needing to be on this or that. I want to just be myself. I've kind of come into myself, you know.
Do you feel well, what does that mean
Maybe
to
I'll
be
do this
enough?
too. I like this. You know what we do when we're humans and someone
mirror
feels uncomfortable?
each other,
It's
yeah.
so trippy. If you look at that, if you go to any public gathering and your hands go like this and someone else's hands go like this and then you go like this and then or you look at you're doing something and you look over and someone's doing it and you didn't even notice.
I feel more frog-like when
Me
I do
too.
this.
This is nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, there's no.
What was the
there's
question?
No anything. What does like enoughness mean to you? Like, what does it mean to be enough?
Oh, I'm still grappling with it. I still obviously deal with not being enough, but the main thing.
Do you go to real therapy?
I go occasionally. I'm like a fair weather therapist viewer. So I went maybe like 5 times in the last like 12 months or something.
Was it helpful, or were you like?
Yeah, it was nice. It's not
bullshit?
it's not how it works. I don't think you just go and be like, yeah, this or that. But it was beneficial. I learned some beautiful things. I'd like to do it more. I think with the non-regularity of my schedule, it makes it challenging for me to have any form of normalcy. Mainly, more importantly, any form of structure and consistency. So gyms or different things like this is all very challenging to schedule in when changing like time zones and constantly just entering into a new vortex of things.
Do you have do you build habits of any kind? Okay, I'm going bald, and so I've been taking fucking minoxidil.
Does it work?
Well, I don't know, because I'll like do it for like 3 days, and then I'll go off and like do something, and I'm like, I can't live a life where like when they're like, you have to take this like twice a day for 3 months, and I'm like, I don't know where I'll be on Wednesday. I'm gonna wake up in some random whatever. I'm not gonna remember to take. Like, I'm bad at like doing shit like that, right? Are you bad at like
for sure
habit forming?
Super bad, arguably the worst. But sometimes I've been trying to implement good habits, and they're less habits and more lifestyles. But like, for example, finding the right addictions as someone who can easily be a junkie, which I have been in the past. Not like the most gnarly, but I've done every drug in the book. You know what I mean? I've done heroin multiple days in a row. Like, I was just playing with fire, just close enough, but escaped it. And I've seen friends who got addicted, got out. I've seen friends who are still addicted, still in and out of jail. And I have friends who have overdosed and died. So I've seen how my life paths could have gone in a lot of ways.
What did it feel like?
I mean, I only did it like maybe 5 or 7 times or something, but like the first few times just throwing up made me very ill. It's pretty like vinegary, nasty. I never like mainlined it, like shot it up. I just smoked it. Chased the dragon on tinfoil.
Yeah.
But basically, the most extreme version of it that I experienced, and I'm sure there's a way deeper version of it, but like my version of it was you get so high that basically this warmness takes over your body and then you can't move. You're unable to move. And I was like telling my friend, I'm like we got into the car and I was like, I can't move at all. And he's like, don't worry. He's driving the car. He's on heroin. He's like, don't worry, dude. It'll go away in like 20 minutes. And then like basically my body got super itchy, and then you're like scratching yourself and it feels good to scratch yourself. Just kind of dark, gross kind of stuff. I wouldn't advise it for anyone. Don't do heroin if you're listening to this. Don't end up like me. Well, actually I got lucky, but it's pretty dark stuff you're playing with.
What have been the more positive addictions you've
that was what I was
replaced it
trying to
with?
get at. I didn't actually plan to talk about that, but good addictions would be something like traveling, something that's not self-destructive, that passes connecting with humans, getting to know people, getting to understand that we're all the same, all walks of life. Maybe we have a different accent or a different dialect, or we wear a different costume, but we're all the same. We have few emotions. We're happy, we're sad, we're mad. We have sex, we masturbate, we go pee, we go poo. It's like there's only a few fucking things that
It's true, there's only a few fucking things to do.
It's not that complicated. And it's crazy when you look at like different types of food too, because you're like, okay, it's like a tortilla or a piece of bread or some rice. They're kind of filled the same thing. Okay, we put meat and vegetables. Like, we have a different sauce, but it's a certain, maybe it's hot sauce, maybe it's sweet sauce, whatever.
So in the desire of more, you're a maximalist.
Well, yeah.
Right. Like what more do you have to max out.
So the cool thing is like, okay, so I'm a maximalist when it comes to art. So like, I just finished a feature film of my time in Antarctica, and I just put, all my time into it. I did everything from the editing, I directed it, I produced it, blah, blah, blah. This isn't an ego thing. I'm just explaining, like, I did all the sound design, scored it, and then I went and had to clean out all the bad audio from the blizzards with using AI and ways to extract the damaged audio and blah, blah, blah.
Wait, you're doing all of that, all this, everything like on your MacBook and shit.
Yeah. Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
But anyways, my lifestyle is very minimalist. So I'm a maximalist minimalist. That's the way I would describe myself. And right now, I have basically 5 pairs of underwear. I have a carry-on suitcase that all my clothes fits in. Then I have a backpack with a $150 interface, which I can record music with. I have my laptop in there, and I have a microphone that's a few $100. That's my entire existence. That's my life. And I had the 4-story house. I had multiple cars. I had all these rooms that you couldn't even fill up. I had all the shit. My closet looked like a store, I had 3 TVs in my bedroom.
What was it that made you
Well, when you're unhappy and you have all that, you're like, well, something must be severely wrong here. But really what it was that people told me what success was. And through the process of being a traveler and really over the course of making this album, I redefined my version of what success is. And I found my version of it is freedom. So instead of it being like, I need all this shit. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, what is all this stuff for? A lot of it was to impress people. I didn't even show it off either, but the people in my life, whatever, if it's your friends or girls or whatever it is, I was wondering how much is this for me? And obviously we all want to live in a nice place. It wasn't entirely that, but I was like, who told me this? And I'm being fed this down my throat my whole life. So I'm being trained to basically consume, buy more is more. And here I am telling more is more, but I was talking about art. So I'm not saying that that's the truth, but that was just my.
When in your life, like growing up, did you get like the travel bug where you were like, I want to fuck the world and see all this stuff?
I've been blessed to be able to, and very privileged to be able to travel a lot in my life. Even when I was younger, I didn't travel too much when I was super young, but I did travel enough where it was an idea planted in my head. And it wasn't until I started working in music. I think my first trip like out of America by myself was when I was 17 or 18 years old. I did a recording session in London when I first signed to my first like indie label. And I remember I got to London and then they're like, all right, what are you here to do? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm here. Or they're like, here for vacation or work? I'm like, here for work. I'm going to make some music. And I didn't have the visas or anything. And they're like, oh, okay, you need to go over here. And they put me a thing. And then I'm like, they're like, I knew something was up because they were basically going to send me back on the next flight.
Oh shit.
But then the label head at that old label was like, he has no idea what he's talking about. He's just here to sign a contract. And it wasn't like I was actually making money there. I was just there to make music. So I almost got sent back, but like that was a really eye-opening experience to be like, wow, I didn't even know music could be a job before that. Someone just reached out and was like, do you want to do this as your job? We'll pay for you to do it. So I was like, that was one step. And then the next step of them being like, and we'll fly you to London. You can stay and record and we'll take care of you. And this and that. And I was like, wow, I can trick people to pay for this.
Yeah.
And that's been my whole business model. Like the whole album going around 82 different countries over the last 2 years. Recording in hotel rooms instead of letting the money fall through my hands for recording budgets. I just used it to travel. And then once that budget ran out, I went and filmed a documentary series and I used the marketing budgets to be able to travel. But the marketing budgets were low, but I was able to continue the traveling. And for example, like when I was in Antarctica, I believe it was last year at the beginning of the year, I directed a bank commercial.
You directed a bank commercial?
$1 million bank commercial. Somehow they
How
had
did
a
you get
guy.
involved in directing a bank commercial?
They reached a producer reached out to me. It was an Austrian bank, and he said, "Would you like to direct this bank commercial?" And I was like, "I'm open to it. What's the concept and idea?" And they had an idea around big suits, and basically that guy, he was scouting the right director. So there was people I was competing against that he had found, and I did a music video that has like a lot of plays, hundreds of millions with big suits. So they're like, who directed this? And then they saw that I directed it and they're like, that could be interesting. And then I had to compete against all these big time commercial directors. I was like in Tokyo writing like 17 treatments and I was like, I don't even really want to do this at this point. And they kept like dragging me on. And then I was like, well, I feel like if I don't say yes to trying this out and don't give it my all, then I'm going to regret this later.
Yeah.
And doing it, I realized I told the bank, I was like, this is my first commercial and my last commercial. But they, you know, it was beautiful because I got them to cover the flights from Antarctica to Spain. I'm staying in like the nicest hotel. I have like, you know, Michelin star restaurants for lunch and dinner. They're paying for all of it. And then they fly me to Australia from there so I could play my concerts because they covered the to and fro travel. So like just finding ways to like rig the system, trick people into paying for stuff. It's the ultimate cheat code, but you have to work hard. So it's not like it goes like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna. I trick them by doing a bunch of work.
When was the last time you were like sitting still for an extended period of time?
Well, I've been in LA for like a little bit. I've been staying in Mexico, but like before that, I was in LA for a few months just trying to lock in and edit this fucking feature film documentary. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
This goddamn piece of shit document. Like it took me like 2 months, so I didn't do it all in 1 month.
Do you like try to hire like an editor, or you just do everything?
I've tried so many, man, and I had like a lot of money I was trying to pay people at times, and I've had different things. I've worked with teams in Serbia and in Mexico, and I've struggled to find someone who understands the vision fully.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think I have to like really, if I'm gonna make a feature. Obviously, I'll be involved with the editing because I've become I don't ever toot my own horn, but I'm proud of myself for how far I've come as an editor.
Yeah.
So I do believe that will be part of the equation to get what I want out of my performances. But in no world would I ever need to be siphoning out the bad mess of the Blizzard audio that's hardly usable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, I've been there
I went
before.
too
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
But you got to do it all to know where you love and what you need to do, because in that process, I ended up developing these beautiful cutaways and scenes and doing really heavy duty writing and post sections of the film that were probably some of my favorite films. And I don't know, had I have taken on this journey, that I would reach that point. And I'm not saying it's true, but part of me likes to at least tell myself that that's true, so that I don't feel guilty for wasting 2 months of my life making this film that sucks.
Do you like the process of like sitting on your computer editing the video?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but I like making stuff. So sitting there, I think it's kind of not my main thing. But also the first month I spent doing it, I was traveling and editing on planes and this and that is a little more enjoyable than sitting stuck in a room. You kind of go like stir crazy.
Do you have like another person with you when you're editing, or are you like alone in a
Just
room
by
doing it?
myself. It depends what the scenario is, but for this film, it was just by myself, which was, I wouldn't advise it. You definitely like gets lonely, depressing, this or that. I wasn't like that bad. I'm being dramatic, but it was like, what am I doing with my life here? I could have done a million other things.
Well, yeah, I have a similar thing where it's like whatever the ADHD, like I have to always be running around doing shit brain is like the thing that causes me to want to make these videos, but then the part of my brain that has to like sit in a room and just like fucking on a computer and edit it is like, you know, it's like two conflicting parts of my brain that are trying to do the same thing, you know?
Yeah. It's really easy to start stuff, but to actually get something to the finish line where you're happy with is, for me, nearly impossible. And I always set the bar too high, way too high. My whole business model, and not from business, but from a creative standpoint, is whatever you want to achieve, you have to shoot for double that so that you can even get close to the halfway mark. So like when I first started a lot of my businesses, like one of them for touring is air and space exploration. Like I have a publishing company that's Aeronautics Laboratory. I have a touring company that, wait, did I say the touring one?
You said air.
Yeah, the master one for my recordings is Rocket Research Development. Did I say that name already?
You said you.
Bro, my brain is so scrambled. I slept like 2 hours. But anyways, it's Aeronautics Laboratories, Air and Space Exploration and Rocket Research Development. And the whole idea behind that was to be able to remind people when they get paid to work on my project that we're all scientists and engineers building a rocket ship. And the whole goal is to go to essentially the black hole where no one has gone before.
Sure.
And if we land on the moon, that would be dope. You know what I mean? So I think through myself teaching myself that and creating that mindset, I've almost done something that is dangerous because then the goal is too high. You know what I mean? And with editing, you can edit forever. So in that scenario, even making music, my album took me 2 years to make over, you know, and it's like I could work on it forever. At a certain point, you have to know when to accept. And the thing is that they say this, I didn't make this up, and I'm sure you've heard it a million times, but art is never finished. It's only abandoned. So
have you had any weird dreams lately?
I actually don't dream. I don't listen to music, I don't play video games, and I don't watch movies or TV shows. So I'm doing pretty much none of the fun stuff.
You don't watch movies, TV shows, you don't play video games, and you don't dream.
I don't listen to music. But yeah, I guess the dreaming is a separate.
And you don't go on the internet.
No, I'm on the internet now
Okay.
for work. I'm doing a rollout for this stuff, so I have to be. But I'm not scrolling. I'm using it
Do
for
you
work.
do
to
you
post.
like you seem like you're in life a lot. Do you like sit around and do you stew in your brain about shit ever? Or are
No,
you
I think I
pretty
should maybe, but I've been
Why wait, hold on, why? Why should you stew in
sit
your
there.
brain?
Well, no, just calm. Just be like, yo, just chill for a second. I'm always like if you're always moving and doing stuff like, especially I traveled so much. People are like, what are you running from? But really, I was like, there's just so much epic stuff happening. I just want to connect and
No,
be a
the what
part
are
of
you
it.
running from camp? I think that's fucking stupid.
That's just someone who's jealous.
Well, it's like
I'm joking.
well, it's like I don't know. Like I feel like life is better to like live than just fucking sit around and
For sure. Well, we
thinking.
could do that when we're dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if you're gonna do anything when you're.
I thought you were gonna say I don't know if you're gonna die
Yeah.
because I was like, now I'm interested.
Do
Would you? What are you gonna say?
Go ahead.
I want to hear yours and then I'll go because I'm going on a side tangent.
Well, what do you think about death a lot?
No, not particularly. Actually, I don't have a lot of time to think about anything. I just kind of get thrown into it. And
See,
then,
I think that's the way you should. That's why the whole like, what are you running from thing? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, you should totally keep running. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's the whole point of, I think how we're wired is to just keep living. Because if you stop and you think too much about, I actually like human consciousness. I feel like it was like an evolutionary defect of some sort.
Well, yeah, the stuff that went to save us from when the lions were going to attack us, it created anxiety or stress or different things so that our cortisol levels would spike so that we could run from the lion doesn't serve us when you're sitting behind a computer and get a bad email.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you this. How do you want to die?
How do I want to die?
Yeah.
How do I want to die? Like I'd love if a missile just came and killed us
All
right
right,
now.
dude, let's wrap this up. This is the kind of energy you're bringing.
No. I just like when
That's
this,
what
like
you think. That's your answer?
A
A missile hitting you?
I don't.
I wasn't expecting all that, bro.
I just don't want to know. I don't want to like know that I have.
You want it to be quick.
It depends on
But
the
a
day.
missile?
No, it depends on the day. There are some. Okay, it depends on the day. Some days I wake up and I'm like, if a missile hit me right now, that's fine. And then there's some days I'll see like a 80-year-old man like eating soup at a diner, and I'm like, I'd like to do that one day.
Really?
I'd like to be like I love looking at old people because it's fascinating to me. Like when I see old people walking around, they're about to enter oblivion, which is the most terrifying thing.
What
when
is
you really
oblivion?
Think
for you?
about it.
What does that mean?
Oblivion, like you're about to enter not like if you're 83, you're about to enter non-existence for eternity, right?
We don't know that. Energy doesn't really die. Sometimes it transfers into the next. I mean, what is Newton's second law?
Something about I think it's don't steal.
Well, I think that was. I think it's the Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon.
Or it's one of the Jehovah books.
Did he do that?
No, but you're saying about don't steal.
Don't steal.
Or
That's
it
in
was
the-
don't judge a book by its cover.
Don't judge a book by its
That's
cover.
what
That's
I'm
the second
thinking
law
of.
of
No, Newton's. What is it? Energy
gravity.
doesn't die. It just transforms.
Transfers.
Yeah,
sure,
you don't believe
yeah.
it. Guy like you doesn't believe it.
Well, no, I'm just wherever I was during World War II,
right?
Wherever I was during when Genghis Khan was alive, that's where I'll be when whatever crazy shit happens in the future.
Okay.
And I don't know, but they've
So
not.
you're returning
knowing-
back to the same path.
Yeah, I guess I'm returning back to the source, but like I'm returning to non-existence, which is like. But I'll freak out about it sometimes. But I'll see like an 80-year-old like they're just walking like they're complaining about like, oh, the parking here sucks,
Mhm.
and I'm like I have like if you have anxiety and you're like I see an 80-year-old person, they're just like in life and like they're just whatever, and I'm like, how are you not? You're so close to this like terrifying thing. How are you not freaking out about it? And I believe I'm like, okay, if that it is possible physically to be that old. And to still be like, hanging out,
Mhm.
and then sometimes I'm like, on a good day, I'm like, I'd like to get there. I believe I can get there. You know what I mean? Where do you want to be when you're 80 something?
How about you ask me where I want to be how do I want to die?
How do you want to die?
So when I was in Nicaragua, I was recording out there at my buddy's studio, and his driver that he had hired to bring me out, because it's like a 4-hour drive or something from the airport, because we had to go way out in the middle of nowhere, and his driver was a conspiracy theorist, but his conspiracy theories kind of arose from his distrust for the government because of his family's experiences, and basically he told me that his uncle was a traitor of the government. I know this is an actual true story because I confirmed it with other people, and he named his son after his uncle, but his uncle was a traitor and they threw him into a volcano. And I just feel like there's something so epic about dying in a volcano. So I think me either jumping off of a helicopter into a volcano or potentially just jumping into a volcano. I haven't figured out the exact angle if we would build a diving board or whatever, but do some kind of free fall spin. But something like that, I mean,
Damn, that's kind of
maybe there's a
crazy. You
sweet
predicted
spot
his fucking death, though.
between that and maybe there's a way to like, because I feel like if you're in the lava too, you're going to slowly burn. Like you'll hit it and then maybe, I don't know how hot it is because maybe you just like disintegrate. But also part of me thinks maybe I need like a second kill option when I'm there. So like I'm stuck in the lava and I'm like, this is going too slow. And then
Yeah.
But I don't know what it looks like.
And actually, now that I think about it, I'd like to be a failed magician's trick.
That would be epic. Wait,
You know-
Harry Houdini style.
Yeah, Harry Houdini.
Hell yeah,
style.
I'm a big fan.
Where he's like I want to be in like a box, and they're like, okay, now I will cut this guy in half with a chainsaw, and they do it, and I die, and then because that way you get to embarrass someone right
I like
before you
that.
go.
Then he'll never forget you.
Yeah.
You showed him.
Yeah.
I like that though. That's great. I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes the magic that these guys are doing is legit.
Yeah. Do you believe in magic?
Magic?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I'm a big magic guy. Chris Angel was my hero growing up.
Really?
You like Chris Angel?
Mind
break.
Yeah, he escapes stuff, right?
He does it all. David Blaine is the most legendary dude of all time. You like him?
I don't know much about him. He does like
Dude,
card tricks, right?
What? This mofo put himself in iceberg. He stayed in a glass of ice or a box of ice for like, I want to say, don't call me on this, but like 2 weeks or something. Like he does crazy stuff where he can do the impossible. He like just does super gnarly stuff. He's kind of it's a heavy duty performance art. I'm sure that there's certain psychology things, but he has to push his body to the fullest limit no matter what the trick is. He's like the hardcore real deal.
Would you ever get into magic as a profession? Would you ever consider like
Yeah, I've
learning how to do
considered the
tricks and
dark
whatnot?
arts. I dated a white witch one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the difference between a white witch and a
I don't know.
dark?
That's what she just called herself. I think it's a positive witch, is the what she said.
Oh,
but
okay,
I didn't believe
sure,
it.
Sure.
I think she did
And
voodoo
so
on
if
me.
you had magical powers, would you use them for good or for evil, or for just like kind of like a neutral self-enrichment?
Definitely not self-enrichment. If I had magical powers, I'd just be like messing with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you do that now.
Hardly. But maybe I am a bit of a magician now that I think about it. I mean, do the math. Chris Angel, David Blaine, Harry Houdini. I mean, these are pretty much the only goats to me. I don't listen to music, so I don't have any like musical heroes. Actually, the only heroes I really have is like the magicians and then like the performance artists like Nathan Fielder or like Sacha Baron Cohen or like Eric.
All right, gamers, nice talking to y'all.